going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. My name is Wiz and this is North Star Collectibles. In today's video I will be talking about if I had $1,000, which is going to be the budget for me to take to Tokyo for cards, what would I do in today's market? To be fair with you guys, I am fairly new into the Pokemon TCG market, and honestly, this is all by experience. All this information that I will go ahead and share with you guys is something that I've been applying since I started and got back into the hobby this year. So I started collecting again back in January 1st of this year with the intention of building a collection. Obviously trying to create my own collection based on the Kanto Pokemon that I grew up watching, that I grew up loving. So to be fair with you guys, I'm fairly new, but just because I'm new doesn't mean that I'm not aware. And if I have $1,000 for me, obviously if you're new here, I'm planning to go to Tokyo at this point within the next couple of weeks. I'm making a Japan trip with my girlfriend, and I'm looking forward to the aspect of trying to invest $1,000 and see what I can actually find in the Japanese market. Am I gonna look for promos and things of that nature? Not necessarily, because I do feel in this type of market, I will be paying premium for those promos or for anything that has to do strictly with the Japanese market. But I will be looking for undervalued things, and definitely if you're interested on that, please subscribe. I will be sharing those videos soon with you as I go and get ready to go to Japan. So let's start off with if I had $1,000, what would I start, or what would I invest my money in? So I truly believe that there's two type of people in this particular market, which is the investors and the collectors. And then there's the mix of both. And I think that the saying that you can be a collector and you can be an investor or a businessman, it has to be some truth to that, because I feel that if you're solely an investor, you're only going to be looking for things that will make you money, and in that sense you're kind of gambling in a way, because not everything is certain, and that's one of the main things that I've learned in this market, that certain cards can be very high right now, and then within a week or two they crash. They go down 20%, 30%. And honestly, if you're just in it for investing, that's a big loss for yourself. And just like this perfect order, if you're one of those people that bought a lot of perfect order at release, obviously those prices have gone down since the release. So if you're an investor, obviously you're in the negative. So to me, you have to be a combination of both, and that's why this is the lenses that I'm gonna look at this particular market on. And we're going to talk about not only Pokemon, but also TCG in general. This is something that I'm applying for myself, and definitely, hopefully, you find it helpful. So if I have $1,000, the first thing, like I said, we're going to split it into collector and investor. For me, it's going to be a combination of both. So with that being said, you then, after you realize what you are, or you make a choice of what you are, you're either an investor, a collector, or in between, there's two certain type of investments or type of options that you have, which is sealed and unsealed. So with sealed, there's so many things that you can buy off the market, but at this very moment, everything's pretty much high. Any of the older sets, for the most part, the older it gets, the more expensive it is. The newer it is, the most premium price it has. But this is where I've kind of learned the game within the last 3 months. So let's say a ETB or something that has to do with a new release within Pokemon. For me, I got in it with the ETB right here with this prismatic evolutions. And I got in it when it was supposedly going down, and I got in it when it was about 120. At this very moment in time, we're hitting about 175, 180. So I'm up in this investment. I don't expect to open this anytime soon. So to me, it is going to be a long-term hold. And I'm talking about anywhere from 2 to 5 years, mostly. Why? Because I do see a long-term investment, and I see the value within it just because of the set that he has. And the reason I chose that, it wasn't only because it being sealed, but because it was one of my main attractions for me. So growing up, obviously, Gen 1 has the 3 type of evolutions for Eevee. We got Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and obviously Eevee. For me, Jolteon is is one of my top 5 Pokemon. So being aware of that, that was my first go-to, that I was like, okay, something affordable, is nothing too crazy. So to me, ETBs are one of the good investments. So for me, I will go for something based on, one, that you like, two, that there's some good cards within that set that probably are more priced out, not priced out, but are more expensive than your regular ETB. So, for example, the perfect order right now has a Meowth, or the biggest hit that he has is a $120 Meowth. Right now, ETBs are running anywhere from $80 to $120 if you get the Pokemon Center ETB. To me, I went ahead and invested on the perfect order ETB. Why? Because I feel that right now, because there's not a lot of hype. A lot of people say they don't like the damn ETB. My investment, or my hypothesis in this is, okay, so at this very moment in time, yeah, there's might be an abundance of perfect order, but it is going down. So what does that mean to me? My hypothesis is that people are going to open it just because it is cheaper, just because also they want to open something they want to open something instead of nothing. Ascended Heroes has a lot of good hits, so I do feel that if you're opening Ascended Heroes, you might regret it in the long term, just because it is, for one, the biggest set. Also, it has a lot of big hits, and those hits are not promised. It's very difficult to get those hits. The Mega Gengar, the Mega Dragonite, those hits, the Pikachu, are very hard to get. And even though there's a lot in the market, you're going to, literally, you're telling me you're going to invest $100+ in something that will not get you anything. So for me, I'd rather hold the ETV, hold it sealed. And perfect order is going to be one of those sets, by doing my research, that because a lot of people don't want it, or don't want it at this very moment in time, might not get a reprint, and therefore it might be more valuable, just because not going to be enough in the long term. So that's my hypothesis, and that's the reason I went with perfect order ETB. And that's why I started also with my evolution, the prismatic evolutions, because for me, it is still very undervalued, under $200. So if you're someone that likes Eevee, or being a very fan of just the evolutions, the Sylveon, the new generation, or the old school ones, go ahead and try to get something like that. So sealed product would have to be, maybe, I would say, maybe 30% of the investment of the $1,000. So that's about $300. So that will allow you to get anywhere from 1 to 2 ETBs, depending on what ETB you want. Something like the prismatic evolutions, I would say something like Ascended Heroes. Something I would also say, the newer one, the Mega Chaos with Greninja, or I don't know what's it called. That one looks pretty cool. I like the art, the color wave on it, which is pink and blue. That's a perfect color wave. And for me, ETBs is a cool way to collect Pokemon. Not because I would never do the boxes. It's just plain boxes, but the ETBs have art to them, that if you're someone that enjoys art, that's a cool way to kind of have some type of visual. Destined Rivals, I think the ETBs, you can find them online from anywhere to $200 to $300. That's another one that I have an eye on that I probably will buy eventually. The Pokemon Go one too with Mewtwo on it. That's another one that I have an eye on it. There's certain ones that I've looked into, and I have to go to like back in the day and go back in time to try to figure out what ETBs are out there that are still affordable. Under 300, like $300. I think anything over 300 been priced out. I'm not gonna invest over $300 on a modern ETB or something that there's a lot of availability in the market. I'm just not gonna do that. But anything under 200, just based on the circumstances. Keep in mind these ETBs at retail are $50. So anywhere for over $100, you're paying 2x of what the actual value of the ETB itself is. And for the long term, I think that if you're already at 2x, best case scenario is another 2x. So you're just gonna double your money. So for me, if you're not someone that just wants to look at your boxes or just want to look at the art within the boxes, don't go with that. But as an investor, I would say that's the smartest thing you can do right now. Buy undervalued ETBs, which they are handful out there. You just got to do your research. Just because people don't talk about them online doesn't mean that they're not undervalued or they're not valuable. It just means that people do not have their eyes on that product at this very moment. I think most of the things, and one of the biggest things that I've learned from is go with the things that you like. For me, my first slap purchase was a Ditto, a shiny Ditto that cost me like $25 PSA 9, and that was back in January. That same Ditto is now blowing up as a raw card. The raw card itself is about anywhere from $25 to $45 in near mint condition. So go where you're good. Go with the things that you like, and I think that if you can do that, it's gonna be very valuable. So I would say put $300 to, like I said, any seal product, ETBs, booster packs. I wouldn't do booster packs because some booster packs can be weighted, so I wouldn't put that money into the booster packs unless you actually like the art. For me, I have very few booster packs, which is loose packs. I really don't, and I have booster packs for Dragon Ball Z, for One Piece, but it's very few. Those are things that I'm gonna keep for the long run. But I'm not going to keep collecting, or it's not going to be a big ass collection that I'm gonna have. So that leaves us with about $700. So $700 of seal, so $300 for your seal product. And let me now go to the other level of seal. So for me, I also consider graded card seal product. And graded cards, I think that at this very moment in time, now that I've become aware of how kind of the market is right now, where PSA 9s are very much undervalued, just because for whatever reason and I think this is more so because of the high demand, or more so the aspect of PSA 10 being the pristine card, or the pristine version of the card. PSA 9s are also valued at the same price, or almost identically the same price as a raw card that is near mint. To me, in the long term play, let's say 5 to 10 years, I truly believe that these PSA 9s will go ahead and spike up in price. Because right now, with the time frame, or with how long it takes PSA to grade and get your cards back, a PSA 9 is still almost perfect. It just really depends on the grade that you get on that card on that day. And honestly, just by looking online and looking at different cards and different vendors and different vendor videos, and looking at just doing my research, right? PSA 9, if you go back to vintage, the PSA 9 cards are pretty expensive. Yes, they're not as expensive as a PSA 10, but if you look at certain cards that PSA 10 is, let's say, $5,000 for a for a particular card that you like, right? The PSA 9 is not that far off. It's probably 2,000 to 2,500. So honestly, for a card, that's a lot of money, and I think that a lot of people have kind of gotten out of touch with the aspect of thinking that 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, $1,000 is not a lot of money. It is a lot of money when we're talking about cardboard, when we're talking just about paper, where we're talking about something that should be a kid's game. It is a lot of money. So when you become out of touch, you start looking and seeing the opportunity that there is. So if you get too focused about the PSA 10, PSA 10, PSA 10, while that is probably in some people's eyes the grail, maybe there's an opportunity within the PSA 9 and lower that you're not seeing just because you're so indulged in the aspect of collecting PSA 10s. To me, I don't have the money to invest in it like that. So for me, I would at least leave anywhere from $200 or $500 in trying to make those plays of trying to find undervalued PSA 9 grades. For me, I went back to the dark era, the Team Rocket Japanese. Why? Because I felt that, for one, like I said, I like Eevee, so I went ahead and grabbed a couple of my childhood cards that I had when I was little, and honestly, and I'm gonna show you, I'm still collecting, and I still gotta get the Umbreon from Neo, but those cards are from my time. Yeah, so these are the cards that I am referring to. So you can take a look. So this card, when I really started looking at it, it was about $39. I ended up buying it almost at $100. I was going to get this card back in January and ended up not getting it because I was like, $40 for a PSA 9 Dark Flareon is too expensive, and obviously ended up paying premium. Why? Because if you go into the market on eBay, there's not any listings of this card, particularly this card. I don't know why. I don't know if people bought it out or whatever the case is, but definitely I'm very happy that I ended up getting it. This Peon. I used to have this card as a child, and definitely was one of my favorites with the Umbreon, which I also had and ended up losing. So if you take a look online at this very moment in April, you'll see that these three cards with the EV or by themselves, there's people posting them online for about $1,700, in which by themselves, I didn't end up even spending $500 on those three cards. So those are opportunities that you have to look into. And even if let's say the market is just going very high right now for whatever reason, that it is just a bubble, I'll be happy with just having those cards, even if they go back to the regular price, even if I don't end up selling them, which I haven't. I don't plan on selling them this year, maybe next year once I collect all of them, which is I'm trying to get the first Glaceon, the first Espeon, the first Glaceon, the first Sylveon, and the first, what's the other one? Glaceon, Sylveon, and the leaf one. I don't know which one I'm thinking about, but I will go ahead and try to get those first edition cards. Not the first edition, but the first cards that came out, which is I believe 2007 or 2008 of those cards. So that would be 50% of your investment. So at this point, we've spent anywhere from $500 to $600, 50 to 60% of your $1,000. And lastly, this is where you will make your money if you are trying to look for money. And if you're trying to build your collection, this is also should be the best way to do it. I will get away from booster packs unless you're trying to just have fun and just rip. For me, I think that coming back into the hobby, I started ripping. Luckily, I found a Mega Evolutions pack in Kroger, a booster box. I ended up ripping that without getting any successful hits on that. I ended up just buying an Ascender Heroes 10 that brought 2 booster packs, which I ended up not getting much on there either. But you start getting into a habit of seeing that, okay, why am I doing this? Is this just for the high of ripping, or is there a purpose behind this, or I just have fun, right? To me, as a grown man, I think I'm over the aspect of just ripping to rip. Maybe I have a booster pack here and there, but I'm not that type of dude that is gonna go look for booster packs anymore with the intention of opening them. And I feel like I've kind of understood and already did what I wanted to do with that. I more so look forward to looking at cards that I have never had, them arriving in the mail, or going into a card show and looking at vendors' cards or binders and finding something that I like or that I've never seen. So to me, that is part of the hobby that I enjoy at this point, where I'm looking at people's binders, or I go into a card show and look at certain cards that I've never seen, or find cards that I've never seen and just buy it. I think that the beauty of the hobby itself is that you can, there's so many different realms that you have, that you can choose one and just stay there, or you can just split yourself thin throughout these different realms, which is seal, greatest slabs, vintage, new school, like sleepy, Pokemon. This is so many different things that you can do and collect within Pokemon, within Dragon Ball Z, within One Piece, within Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever TCG you're into. There's so many things you can do. So for this last part of what I would do with my $1,000 is obviously collections, and collections in a sense of what you enjoy. What are the Pokemon that you never had, or what are the Pokemon you're trying to build in your collection? So for me, like I stated, I started with the Kanto Pokemon. So I've never had the entire Kanto Pokemon in a binder. So at this very moment in time, that's what I'm doing. So whenever I get a shot and I go to a card shop, I try to see if I can find something reasonable within a budget that I want to go ahead and purchase and add to my collection. So at this very moment, I think I've only spent a little bit over $100, and I have collected about 9 Pokemon out of the 151. And some of those cards have already risen, have already went up in price compared to where I got them when I got them, and that's only been in this year. So to me, when you're trying to spend money, you have to, it all goes back to what you're trying to do within the hobby. Usually if it's something that is, let's say, not so niche, but it's something that it's a famous Pokemon, or it's a Pokemon that a lot of people like, or a certain card that is either very like holographic, or a card that has a something unique to it, people will always kind of value that. And even if they don't value it right now, I think that over time they will. For example, like there's a card, and I'm gonna show it to you because it's a Pokemon that I personally did not grow up seeing, and it's one of the newer Pokemons, and I don't even know the name out of the top of my head. But when I saw the card, I was like, man, that's a badass card. That's a really nice card. It's a beautiful drawing. And I just couldn't believe it was as cheap as it was. But it is pretty cheap and affordable. And I think that over time, that card is going to go either anywhere to the range of $30 to $50 or more, depending on when it just shoots up. I mean, I think eventually it will. Maybe not within the next year, but eventually with time, it will go to a point of $50. And let me show you. So the card I'm referring to is this card, which is Veltal, or Yveltal. I don't even know how you pronounce it, to be fair with you. But if you take a look at this, it's a beautiful card. And I mean, there's no way you're gonna tell me that this card is not a nice card, that doesn't have a good illustration. To me, as an artist, this is something that I would definitely draw and definitely put out there if I had the opportunity to make some art for Pokemon. And I think that when you look at cards like that, and you're seeing it under $20, is always a good investment option. It's a good grab. If you're someone that likes Pokemon or just TCG for the art, it's something good to have in the collection. So for me, 50% of your money, which should be $500, should be going into raw cards, things that you enjoy. At the end of the day, the beauty of having raw cards is that if you learn, either if you're a collector or an investor, if you're a collector, obviously that's the biggest part of the game of being a collector, collecting cards that you want to put in your binder. If you're an investor, buying the raw cards is the biggest part of you becoming a successful investor. You have to learn how to look at cards that are worth grading. And if you look at cards that are worth grading, then you're going to look at the edges, you're going to look into the centering, you're going to look at the printing, you're going to look at the no scratches on the hollow, all these different things that you should be looking at and looking for if you're trying to find the perfect card for you to send out to PSA or send out to Tag or send out to any of the grading companies that you would like to send that out to. That's where your money should be going to regardless. But for me, like I stated, that's my opinion and that's what I believe based on how things are going at this very moment. $1,000, you should be doing that. And for me, going into Japan in a couple of weeks, that is what I'm focusing on. I'm gonna focus more than likely in buying raw cards. I'm not gonna buy many boosters. I'm not gonna buy any ETBs for the space that it can take bringing it back home. But I will buy but I will buy singles. I will be looking for singles within One Piece, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, and Yu-Gi-Oh as well, because there's certain collections or certain cards that I've been looking to get for the longest, or certain cards that I want to get back that I used to have and now either lost them or traded them, and hoping to look for a better deal in Japan. So if you want to take a look at that, subscribe. If this video helped you in any sort of way, please subscribe as well. I am trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to grow the business. At this very moment in time, man, literally today, we sold a Goku card that I kind of, at the end, when they bought it, I was like, when they bought it online, I was like surprised because I kind of had forgotten about it, but because it's a nice card. But I mean, it is what it is. It's part of the business. That's one of the things that I've learned as I've come into this with a business mindset, that even though I like the cards, if I put them up for sale, they're gonna eventually sell, and I have to be okay with letting them go, and I have to be also okay with reinvesting the money into something else within the business that can help the business grow. So that's the point of this entire thing, man. I'm trying to create this channel with the intention of growing the business. I'm also building my collection as we go, and I think that that's kind of the cool thing about it. I've only been doing this for 3 months, so within the 3-month period, I've gained some collection. I've created some collection within One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, PSA graded cards. Obviously, my ETBs only have 3 so far. We'll see where we at next year, and I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most, to see where this goes with time, because it is fun. I do have fun every time I get a card, every time I get an ETB. I like how it looks, and I think that there's a very peaceful thing for myself that allows me, when I see these things, it brings me ease and it relaxes me. And I think that that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. That some of these things, it's not always about the money. It is about money, and I'm gonna be fair with you and honest with you. Obviously, it's about money, but it's not always all about the money. It's also about the aspect of being able to grow up, being able to afford these things, and being able to afford them yourself when maybe when you were younger you couldn't afford them or you couldn't have them. So not being able to have that type of money to invest in these things and to buy them and to have them is something cool to see as an older person, you know. So yeah, guys, I hope you stayed for the entire video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Peace.